Hello, and welcome back to the War of Ideas podcast. I realize I actually have a lot to say about the Amazon HQ expansion that was walked away from in New York. Amazon decided to pull out of setting up their new headquarters in Long Island City, Queens, in New York. And if you couldn't already tell from the title of this episode, I am happy about that, I guess, but it won't really matter if they just go to another city. It's not really a victory, it's more like a delaying of the inevitable. So let's talk about how a company gets dozens of lawmakers kneeling before them, begging for Amazon to take $3 billion in tax breaks from them. Why is that occurring in our society? Why are people lining up to give Amazon $3 billion in tax breaks? It makes sense for people like Andrew Cuomo and Bill de Blasio, who are all for it. The city is going to make up for that $3 billion and then some if there are 25,000 new high-paying jobs created in the area and real estate prices go up and all that jazz. It's a good deal for the New York City tax coffers. And obviously, it's a good deal for Amazon compared to them not getting a tax break at all. So I know what you're thinking. This is too good to be true. How can Amazon come out on top and the state or the city of New York also come out on top? Where do they get all that extra money? Who loses? Well, everyone else loses. Everyone who doesn't get one of those 25,000 new jobs loses. Everyone who doesn't own a house yet loses when they see that the prices of apartments and houses near Amazon's new headquarters have gone up 30%, but their wages haven't gone up at all. One thing I can tell you for sure is this will most definitely increase income inequality. There are people who live in Virginia, where the other Amazon headquarters was going to be located and is going to be located. There are people from there tweeting happily that the value of their property is going to go up even more because the New York deal was declined. I don't care how much extra tax money gets reduced by New York with this deal. We're still saving Amazon $3 billion in expenses. We could get a lot more tax money if we didn't give them a $3 billion tax break, and they came here anyway. We should not be grateful that they hand us some table scraps when we could get the whole Thanksgiving dinner. And if every city thought like that, then Amazon wouldn't be able to get away with going from town to town, seeing which government officials are willing to get ripped off the most. And if you want to tell me that if they don't get what they want in America, they'll just move their headquarters to another country and they'll make that country rich. I would love to see that happen. I want to see Amazon try to cut the same deal with a country in Europe that they're trying to do in New York. Please, Amazon, go to Germany and ask them for $3 billion in tax breaks so that you can build your headquarters in their country. See if they don't laugh in your face. Please. Go to the United Kingdom and ask them for $3 billion in tax breaks. and watch them laugh in your face. I'd love to see them try and pull this off in another country and make the same amount of money. Please, I'd love to see it. So for any of you thinking we don't have bargaining power, well, we definitely do. The only problem is getting every city to cooperate with each other, so we don't fall into a prisoner's dilemma situation where, as a country, we'd be better off and we'd get more tax dollars from Amazon if no one caved into their demands and we set our own demands. But if one city decides to screw over the other cities, they make the most money and they save Amazon the most money, and the other cities lose. And in that situation, the whole country makes less money from Amazon because they pay less taxes. Okay, let's look at this situation through a microscope. On the surface level, it's difficult to realize just how much Amazon is trying to get away with, and that we would never tolerate this if we actually looked under the hood at its most basic foundational level. And when I say we, I mean the American people, or at the very least, New Yorkers. Because over 50% of New Yorkers wanted this deal to be done. And I just happen to disagree with them, and I am trying to convince them that holding out and getting a better deal is the right decision. Amazon is using the allure of jobs, of employment, to extort money. Jobs are supposed to be things that give employees leverage, not the employer. If a business needs a job to be fulfilled, if they need more labor to be done to reach their goal as a company, the business can hire more employees to work for it. That's a pressure that is solely on the company. If they do not get that labor, they will be unable to reach their goal, whatever that goal may be. If the company does not need any more labor, they don't need to hire anybody. The pressure has shifted from the employer to the employee, and not just the employee, but society as a whole. Our elected representatives, Andrew Cuomo and Bill de Blasio, begging to give the denizens of their city more job opportunities. Begging. Now let's bring back the Amazon situation. They are paving the way toward job extortion. Actually, what I should say is they're normalizing it, because it's been done many times before. I think an example a lot of people are familiar with is publicly funded football stadiums, where taxpayer money pays for a privately owned stadium where all the profits go to the owner of the football team. So this Amazon deal is straight from that playbook. Amazon is showing us what great minds can achieve when they are tasked with how to squeeze money out of every single business decision. Just like the greatest minds in tech are being paid to try to get people to click on ads, the greatest minds in the other businesses are figuring out ways to use their stature in the world to find extortion where it hasn't existed before. With the Amazon headquarters, the only info you need to create this plan is know that it's quite hard for a majority of the population to just up and move to another city to get a better job. So make the city fight for that job. Make the city grovel to you in submission in hopes that they can garner the jobs that you may bestow upon them, where you hold all the cards and can easily just choose not to hire anyone, with not a single hitch in your business occurring. If none of this plan works out, you get to play the role of a generous God, offering jobs as if that makes you honorable. Jobs are not meant to be auctioned off in this way. If you think expanding into a new city will get you more profits, go ahead, rent a building in that city and pay your workers like every other business does, with no government handouts. If the jobs you are looking to provide are imperative to your success, well, you better get hiring. Imagine if Amazon owned 80% of the world's food supply, and it's still really hard to transport food to faraway distances. You'd bet every governor of every state in the United States is going to throw themselves at the chance of Amazon building a headquarters in their state. That's what a job is. A job is a license to not starve. A job is a license to shelter. A job is a license to being accepted by society. And when that much importance is placed on something, you can charge any price you want, and Amazon showcases it perfectly. I know the unemployment rate is pretty low right now, but everybody knows that the jobs Amazon would be creating would be much higher paying than the median worker's salary. If 80% of Americans were not living paycheck to paycheck and looking for a higher paying job, then Amazon's bargaining power would go way down. But as we stand here today, the money in wages that they have to offer is so invaluable that they can force the government to pay those wages for them. Amazon would not be paying those wages to their workers. Taxpayer money pays wages to the workers. It pays for all of their expenses, up to $3 billion. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, technically, no companies pay their workers out of pocket. They pay their workers with the money that the customers spend at their company. And that is correct. But those are customers. Those are people buying from Amazon. Yes, I understand that I am contributing to the wages of Amazon workers when I buy something on Amazon. I am contributing to the wages of my waiter when I go out to eat that night. But if I'm not a paying customer and Amazon gets a $3 billion tax break, I'm still paying Amazon's workers' wages, even if I don't buy anything from them. And even if I did buy from them, I'm not only spending money on the thing I'm buying, I'm giving them money through my tax dollars. Amazon is double dipping into our wallets. You are paying their taxes for them. Doesn't seem very fair, does it? Instead of my tax money being used to create better public schools, fix potholes, upgrade infrastructure of the bridges, make our police department and fire department better, or set up new government programs to help people, my tax dollars are going to be paying for the wages of Amazon workers instead of Amazon paying for those wages with the sales they make from selling stuff. You can't have public employees working under a private company that takes all the profits. But I stand corrected. Here we are. It's like being a government-run program, except it's a for-profit business, and you get all the money, even though the public pays your employees. Can you even picture that? Imagine setting up your own business. Let's say you opened up a grocery store, and every employee you have was given their wages by the government, by taxpayer-funded money. But all the profit your employees make for the store just goes to you. Not to mention, there's no way those 25,000 new workers are going to be making over $3 billion in salary combined. So we're not just paying those workers' wages, we are paying the tax that Amazon would have paid on their profits. They keep the profits, and we pay the tax on their profits. Do you want to live in a society where that is not only possible, but you have your own democratically elected government bending the knee so that they can use your tax dollars for their profits? Do you want to live in a society where a business has that much power? Lloyd Blankfein, former CEO of Goldman Sachs, tweeted, "Not sure some progressive Democrats deserve their title. This move was anti-progress," and puts in parentheses, "negative for development and tech jobs." Hey Lloyd, do you know what's really anti-progress? Demanding that other people's tax money pay your employees' wages. You want to know what's bad for development and tech jobs? Knowing fully well that you can hand out those tech jobs and then deciding not to because you didn't get enough money. People like Lloyd over here, and a lot of people think like him, they say, no, we can't blame Amazon for backing out of the deal or refusing to take less of our tax money. We blame the city and we blame individuals for not catering to Amazon's every whim. What's wrong? You don't want to pay $3 billion to get all these jobs? You must be anti-progress then. You must be anti-jobs. No price is too steep for new jobs. Amazon's allowed to be as greedy as they can get away with. That's fine. That's the norm. But if the government tries to be greedy, if the people try to be greedy, if people want higher wages, they're asking for too much, the people aren't allowed to be greedy because companies like Amazon are the ones with all the money, and that gives them all the bargaining power. So it's okay for them to be greedy because they can get away with it. But for the American people to be greedy, wanting higher paying jobs, that's stupid and it's selfish. Because if you're not nice to the people that give you the money to feed yourself, you're gonna find yourself in a world of hurt. And that's just how the world works. I'll be the first one to tell you, Yes, this is how it works right now. What I'm trying to do is make a case for it to work differently. Economies should be constructed to support human beings in their lives, not the other way around. Alright, that's it from me. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.